So I'm Mike James, Barbell Brigade staff. I've been coming here and training here for a couple months now. Before that, I would train at a couple other CrossFit gyms that I still kind of work at. And what I do here, pretty much when I'm on shift, I have to handle anything that may come up, any inquiry or issue, help people in the gym, and overall just have a good time. I'm not the only one who says it. Anyone that works here knows that this really isn't work when we're here. We're just here having a great time, but making sure everything is tip-top. Yeah, so strongman is my primary focus of training. So powerlifting is a huge influence in terms of how I train, but what I actually compete in are strongman contests. I would say it's about 4 to 5 events on a given day. It's only usually one day contest. There's so many different variations that you can pull from. I would say, in my personal opinion, a very balanced contest involves some type of overhead press, some type of deadlift, maybe 1 or 2 types of moving events, usually the more flashier of events, and then almost all contests end with some type of timed event with stones or something head-to-head with other contestants. This is I would say primarily a powerlifting gym, but it is turning with, I don't want to say just me, but with other people that are around. We have an influence from all of the big 3, which I would call weightlifting, powerlifting, and strongman. So we're all strength sports with different focuses in terms of what we need in terms of maximal strength, anaerobic capacity, technical skill, all these things. I think they're important for all 3. And I think it's important, like myself, to experience all 3 sports, either in competition or at least in training for a long period of time. So while working here, I would say about 90% of my training is powerlifting to focus on maximal strength, because strength is never a weakness. So I feel that putting it to the test every once in a while to get new numbers to work off of in the gym wouldn't be a bad idea. So doing a powerlifting meet in September is something that I'm planning on doing. So I have a strongman contest at the Capital Fit Expo or Sacramento Fit Expo at the end of August, and then I would like to also do a powerlifting meet down in San Diego in early September. Powerlifting is something that I haven't done like an actual sanctioned meet. I've done other like mock meets before, and I've hit good numbers for me at the time. But I like training powerlifting or variations because I train the conjugate method, or what people call West Side barbell, right? So I'm the guy that uses bands and chains and does all the weird things. But I primarily do that because in both powerlifting and strongman, I don't want to be so specific that if I were to misgroove by even a fraction of, let's say fraction of an inch, that I lose all potential ability to make or continue to be efficient. So with the conjugate method or the West Side method, I'm able to kind of spread my base, right? A pyramid, Louis Simmons says it best, right? A pyramid is only as tall as its base is wide. So the wider I can make my base in terms of overall strength, the taller I can peak and ultimately, hopefully be very competitive in either sport. When I was younger, I was unhealthy. I was really competitive in video games. I was that kid, right? Like in high school, like I played video games. Like early parts of high school, I would go home after school. I did PE just to get it done, and I just played games. And then my mom actually, she got diagnosed with cancer. She's still alive. She's doing great. I don't want to turn this into a sad story, right? But seeing that and understanding that she wasn't healthy, and that did not help her in terms of recovery and everything else, it was a big motivator for me to wake up and realize that life is short, and I don't want to spend it unhealthy. And then I started to learn that I was always afraid of getting healthy because I knew I was going to be bad at it. I was always going to be the worst one in the gym along those lines. And I think the mentality is still around, but I've refined it to where everyone has a different challenge and everyone has different strengths and weaknesses, so it doesn't matter. So like to people who are hesitant to work out because, oh, I'm going to look bad, like you're always going to look bad to someone, but what matters is you have to understand what you're doing for you. And at the end of the day, no matter what anyone says or does, like they're not you, so you have to be happy with yourself. It's something that I like because I didn't have guidance when I first started working out. I had the internet, I had books and things like that. Ultimately, why I went to college and what I studied was kinesiology, because I wanted to know how to fix all the things that were wrong with me and apply it in real world application. So I did the balance of learning everything through textbooks, but taking what I learned and applying it to see what actually worked and what didn't work. And you find out that you're still learning. You're always gonna learn. And that's something I pride myself on. I was a nerd, and I'm even more of a nerd now than I was then, because I always want to know why someone does something that they do in the gym, why it helps them for whatever specific reason. If I can pull something from that, I most definitely will. So with that, everyone's like, oh, like I've helped people here. And they're like, why? You know so much. It's not that I know a lot. It's just that I made a lot of mistakes and I've learned from them. So if I can stop someone that I care about from making the mistakes I've already made, then I definitely will, because it's something that it makes me happy that some people that I train have gone through what I've gone through. Like they're not motivated, or they didn't have a reason to be motivated, or they were more scared than anything. And that's something that I want to help people with and ultimately overcome, to where I don't want to be someone's handler. I want someone to be proud of themselves and be self-sufficient. So ultimately we have that talk to where, hey, you're going to be good on your own. I'm always here. I'm always going to be your friend. I don't have to be your coach. And you can know that you're in a better place now, and we can keep continuing to grow in some way, shape, or form. So honestly, how I found Barbell Brigade is I was actually at the States meet that was in Anaheim. And what I saw there, I was still doing strongman and powerlifting-ish. What I saw was the community, right? Like lifting is lifting in my eyes, but who you lift with or who you lift around is a very important thing. I gotta quote Louis again, right? You can have the best coach in the world, but nothing will ever compare to having good training partners that can push you either a little bit above you or a little bit below you to force you to challenge yourself at all times. And I think here, even though I train with people that don't train in the same sport as me, we have goals that we want to push one another. And it's like what I say to all the new members, right? You have a goal and I have a goal. It doesn't need to be the same thing, but we can respect each other on those levels. And that alone makes us, in a way, training partners to continue to push, right? And that's something that I love doing here. Sometimes it's seen as, I don't want to say obnoxious, but more, some people like see it as fake. But I really genuinely, anyone that trains in here, they've already accepted the mentality, and I already know who they are, or at least a part of who they are, because they train here, right? And I want everyone to do extremely well, because if everyone else does well, that allows me, every time I come in this place, I'm in a better mood than right when I walked in, right before that, because of where I am. And that's something that I want everyone to experience. You can have the worst day at work, or you can have shitty things going on, but when you're here, you can take an hour or 2 hours away from other things, maybe even actually help you refocus and how to handle some of those situations. So that's something I love. No one here competes and that's their paycheck. Like that's not what puts food on their table. We have other jobs that we have to do. And I've been at other places where the balance has not been so strong, not only in who I was with, but also in myself. You know what I mean? I lost focus of making sure that everything is in check, and I'm just so focused on training that I didn't balance everything. But now, while I'm here, I'm learning from people who are much wiser, much more intelligent than I am, how to balance, how to make a living, how to still enjoy my hobby and flourish, and how they both can work together and force me to be successful in both, right? And that's something that I really, really attached to very fast. And not only that, like I'm human, you know, I'm stupid, I make mistakes, not just in lifting, but in life. And I have people here that I can trust that who don't judge me for making mistakes, but actually want to help me and make sure that I don't make them again. And I have a family. I don't have any siblings. I don't have any extended family. I'm the youngest one on either side of my family. But here I have brothers. I have sisters. And that's something that I thought I had before. But here, even though it's been such a short time, I know I have here. There's no question about it. You have to find your passion. Right? Some people, I'm not gonna say it has to be lifting or anything like that. I was fortunate enough to find my passion, and that I'm never going to be perfect in terms of physicality or anything along those lines, but it's something that I'm always striving for, and it keeps me sane, for lack of a better term. A lot of people that don't understand that see it as insane or obsessive, but for me, it's always exciting. Every day is a new day. It's not the same thing. Like, oh, you just go to the gym all the time, but they think I just do the same movements over and over again. But for me, Arnold says it really well, right? Like, so the sculptor, he takes like his media, for lack of a better term, and if he wants to make something look a specific way, he has to chip it away, right? Whereas Arnold in pumping iron, he says it, right? It's like, for me, I need more delts, so I need to train them, things like that. For me, it's not an aesthetic approach, it's a performance approach in terms of how I do on the platform or how I do at events. And I use my contests not as a gauge of, oh, I want to win, but where was I at my previous one? And where am I now? And then how can I get even better than where I am, right? I got nowhere to go but up, but it's something that I always want to improve on, and it keeps me sane. So my message is to everyone is like, you have to find something that is happy, it makes you very happy, something that you're passionate about, but it also needs to be healthy. You have to make sure that you find a level of balance to where you can still function in society. Unfortunately, we have to function in society, you know what I mean? but still do something just for you. That's one thing that I didn't understand, is that I always did a lot of things for everyone else. I was trying to please everyone, you know, but here I finally found something that I love, that I don't have to explain, but I like to, because maybe it can turn someone else onto one of their passions, you know. And if everyone can find a passion, I think things will be a lot better in everyone's lives, because walking around aimlessly can work for some, but for me, having a direction or having at least a bubble to kind of shoot for is something that I truly love, and I hope